It's the era of mainstream video game movies. What a time to be alive. Finally, I can witness the characters I've centered my whole personality around on the big screen. And by God, if someone doesn't like it. Starting off on a cynical note today, aren't I? Really, I don't feel too strongly either way about the 2023 Mario movie. I watched it twice when it came out, didn't feel much about it one way or the other, and never thought about it again. It looks wonderful, has a fantastic score, and enough references to make even the most casual of Mario fan have a nostalgia blast. But on the other hand, it's impossible not to acknowledge its lack of any real plot, semblance of depth, and breakneck pace jumping from reference to reference without allowing the film to sit in anything, really. Stuff is constantly picked up, dropped off, only to be given a small nod to later to give the illusion of an arc. Enough to make $1 billion though, kickstarting the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Although I was confused to see the sequel would be jumping ahead to Super Mario Galaxy, it was very strange. Even then, that's to ignore that because of that first movie's lack of any restraint when it came to what Mario game they could pull from, we saw them use Galaxy shit there already. How could I ever be that ecstatic to see the Lumas be introduced into this franchise when they were already in the last one? When I hear them use an orchestral version of Gusty Garden Galaxy, no matter how amazing it sounds, it's hard for my mind not to immediately jump to the credits of the first film where they're already using it. Even then, it's weird to jump all the way to Galaxy, especially when the original wasn't really about any game in particular. And neither is this one, mixing elements from Odyssey, Galaxy, and Sunshine, but it's for marketing. I'm not gonna act like I don't understand. A Mario Galaxy movie sounds a whole lot more exciting than a Mario Sunshine movie, or Mario 64 the movie. But despite the series' lack of attention on story, Galaxy is most frequently touted as having the franchise's best, namely with its focus on more quiet, melancholic moments, its indescribable atmosphere and music, and basically everything it does with the character of Rosalina. If this film can hone in on even 1% of that, we could see a movie that fixes basically every issue with the first. Then we learned that Bowser Jr. would be the villain, voiced by Benny Safdie. OMG, the Piantas, Pikmin, Fox McCloud, Smash Brothers movie confirmed? Wart from Mario 2 USA, of course, if you weren't aware the original Mario 2 was. Just seemed like it was doing too much, being the Mario Galaxy movie in name alone. Either way, it's out now, so what do I think? It was awful. Like, it actually might be some of the worst shit Illumination has ever put out. It makes the first one look amazing in comparison. There was a fucking kid who kept slamming his head by the seat beside me, he was so bored. To get the very few positives out of the way, the film looks fantastic. The colors, the set design, the animation, all looks great. It does a great job at tricking you into believing the movie has a heart. Same goes for the music, pulling themes from Galaxy, Odyssey, those are the main two, but it all sounds fantastic. I have no issues whatsoever with how this movie looks or sounds. All my problems stem from the plot and dialogue, the most important things when it comes to a movie, unfortunately. We don't really know how much time has passed from the first film, but we see the new Princess Rosalina tell her Lumas about the story of Princess Peach, before eventually being captured by Bowser Jr. We then cut to the Mario brothers who, out of nowhere, discover Yoshi hiding in a warp pipe, taking him back to the Mushroom Kingdom just in time for the Star Festival, which coincidentally takes place on the same day as Peach's birthday. One of the Lumas has escaped Bowser Jr., letting Peach know of Rosalina's kidnapping. With this, she sets out to rescue her, leaving Mario and Luigi in charge of the Mushroom Kingdom, including the now shrunken Bowser. Over the course of the film, we see Peach's castle get taken to space by a UFO, with the gang now setting out to find their friends as well as a way home. The film expands on nothing from the first. What you see is what you get, just a bog standard space adventure rescue mission, for a character none of these guys have met before. Or have they? By the end of the film, in a twist that everybody saw coming, we learn that Peach and Rosalina are sisters? Better yet, they have this special sibling bond that allows them to take control of the cosmos or some shit. Hiccups. But it's next to useless as we never see the film do anything with it. The audience realizes this truth like 45 minutes before Peach does, in which she only winds up sharing 1 or 2 lines with Rosalina in the end. So it basically amounts to nothing aside from them getting to use their epic sibling power to save the day. They try to do this thing where Mario fears to tell Peach's true feelings, as maybe she wouldn't want to be with a simple plumber from Brooklyn. But just like everything with Rosalina, Mario and Peach spend a majority of the film separated. In the exact same way, they end up sharing like 5 lines of dialogue together. It's constantly running at a breakneck speed, not allowing anything to sit with the audience. Instead, it's too concerned with shoving as many Mario references in as possible. A fact the creators are proud of, constantly asking the audience to sit back and count as many references as they can, instead of sitting back and enjoying the movie as a movie. They do this bizarre thing where Mario allows Bowser to be his regular size again. Him now liking the Mario Brothers. Obviously doing that whole thing where you believe the villain will not be a villain, despite all the posters and advertising showcasing him as the villain. His whole motivation for once again turning on the Mario Brothers being that his son, Bowser Jr., put a whole lot of effort into killing him, and so he might as well. Luigi does nothing, Yoshi does nothing, Toad does nothing, and Fox and McCloud does nothing. Could have been any other pilot, and nothing would have changed. For a split second, and I mean a split second, they try to imply they're gonna set up some rivalry between him and Mario. But no, not that I would have wanted them to do that, but in place of it, is nothing. He helps them get to where they need to go. They say do a barrel roll at least twice, because how could you have Fox in a movie without referencing dank memes? And that's it. He disappears in the end, no questions asked. It's almost hard to find anything even worth saying about it. It's simply a series of vignettes loosely connected through the simple premise of find Rosalina, a character we don't know or care about in this universe. Your only attachment to anything going on here would be from having already played the games. At least the first was tied together with the vague bond between Mario and Luigi. Something that was also incredibly underdeveloped in that one too, but here there's nothing, literally nothing. During a fight towards the end, Luigi steals Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush and starts trying to manifest them an ally. But oh no, it makes Mr. Game & Watch from Super Smash Brothers! Holy crap! Smash Brother movie confirmed. There's a post-credit scene showcasing Daisy, but what is there to even be excited about? They couldn't even do anything with Rosalina, arguably the most interesting Mario character there is. It's a nothing movie, genuinely. If you want to see nothing but a string of Mario references flung at your face at a mile a minute, then this is the film for you. But if you want something with like a story or characters who do things, then why are you even watching an Illumination film in the first place? I just don't get the folks who say, well, it wasn't the worst thing ever. I saw a bunch of Mario stuff. It was hype. Because all that does to me is prove that Illumination doesn't need to do anything and they'll still please the fans. The whole first film revolved around the idea that Mario was this fish out of water, being transported to a world where there's no real logic. There were floating blocks and power-ups, a city inhabited by monkeys, a giant evil turtle. Going to space just doesn't really offer anything that feels as if it couldn't be done the first time around. This is a bad movie. I was more neutral towards the first, but when given the chance to fix what was clearly broken, they've instead chosen the easy way out. And I just can't help but feel like that's so lame and boring. Such a nothing film. So anti-art, what a waste of time. Even if you're one of those people who thinks a movie can be nothing but dumb fun, a statement I agree with, by the way, I just question why we have to treat it as anything more than a lame kids movie in that case. But I just don't think it works as a good Galaxy movie either. It's got next to nothing to do with the game, just the presence of Rosalina, the Lumas, and I guess the Queen Bee who gets like 40 seconds of screen time. There weren't really many locales from it, none of the iconic planets. I mean, I at least expected Petey Piranha considering they were the first boss. It really is just the Comet Observatory. And even then, we get to see none of it aside from Rosalina's house. I think the posters show off more of this place than the actual film does. It's a movie moving too fast to put attention on any one aspect of itself. So even if you did get to see a Galaxy reference, it's only ever on screen for 2 seconds before moving on to the next boatload of stuff. Despite being on the poster, Wart and Meiser have maybe like 2 collective minutes together. Rosalina opens the film, yet disappears until the last half an hour. It's just bad. In my opinion. A bad kids movie, a bad Galaxy adaptation, a bad sequel. There's just nothing here. It's like a black hole of Mario iconography. Honestly, it's more interesting for me to talk about the response to it all, as Mario fans are once again in an uproar, and not just at how I pronounce the name Mario. Instead, it's that people expected the Mario movie to be anything more than a reference fest. We go through this every video game adaptation, and it's only gonna get worse now that studios have realized all you need to do is show people the characters and locales they're familiar with. They'll do the marketing for you at that point. I'm just kinda sick of this attitude that when you criticize the plot of a Mario movie for not being very good, you have to listen to millions of children and adult children cross their arms, raise their eyebrows, and say, "It's a Mario movie. What did you want? Interstellar? What did you expect from it? Citizen Kane? What did you want? A good movie?" I have seen these exact comments, that this is no exaggeration. "It's a Mario movie. For kids. What did you expect it to be good?"
Kinda.
If you're satisfied with the bare minimum, then that's fine, I'm glad you liked it. But to act like others are stupid for wanting something that can stand on its own as a good film, then I think that only goes to highlight your own low standards. That's fine if you accept that, but don't get mad at other people for the way they feel. And really, it's not as if these movies are made with no real passion. If there's anything I wouldn't call this film, it's soulless. Everyone working on it are clearly huge fans of the franchise, especially the storyboard artists and designers. But it's evident these movies are nothing more than further ways to push the Mario brand. Exposure first, pleasing the fans second, good movie, I don't know, like 43rd. No matter what I have to say though, it's gonna make $1 billion. Bravo, Nintendo, you've done it again. I can't wait for the next film. The Super Mario Odyssey movie, where Bowser enlists the help of Wario and Waluigi to take down the Mario Brothers as he sets his eyes on kidnapping the new Princess Daisy. Oh yeah, and there's a hat in there somewhere, I guess.